Hey everyone, it's Shanna with the Yoga Venture. I have a good hips and back bending class for you today. We are going to go ahead and get started with our warm-up, turning to go to the front of the mat, plant your hands and step your feet back to find down dog, and then walk the down dog out. So you'll bend one leg, lift the heel, and then try to straighten the opposite leg towards the floor. Really press your chest back towards your legs to help open up through your back. Now turn and look under one arm and then switch to look under the other. You'll still do that bending with one leg and then switch it out. This is just to help you get warm so you don't have to be exactly with my timing. Come to center, try to press both heels to the floor, straighten the legs and press the chest back. Look forward, step your left leg up between your hands and sink down to a low lunge. Start to shift your weight forward and backward, rocking out, and continue to spread the legs apart, tucking the pelvis, pulling the belly button in as you shift forward and backward. Forward and backward. Come back to center, plant the right hand, lift the left arm, twist and open. Reach the left arm back, the right arm lifts, and you find a straight line from your front arm to your back arm, taking a twist. Rotate forward, lift your arms up over your head, high lunge. Grab opposite elbows, open the chest, lift the rib cage, gentle back bend, look up to the ceiling. Rotate your back foot open, hands come to a T, find your warrior two. Circle your wrist 3 times, and then change direction, circle 3 times the other way. Your left palm will lift to the ceiling, reach up and back to take a reverse warrior stretch, and then your left arm to your thigh, your right arm reaches up and over to take a side angle. And we'll move between these two positions. Lift up and back, reverse, elbow to thigh, reach forward, side angle. Up and back, side stretch, reverse warrior, left elbow to thigh, right arm reaches overhead to find modified side angle. Back to warrior two, arms to the side. Interlace your fingers behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your head, look up to the ceiling, squeezing, hold there. Release, slide the arms back out to warrior two. Rotate your back hip and your back arm up to find that high lunge. Plant your hands, step back to your plank, tuck your pelvis, bend the elbows, tap the chin to the floor. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your chest, look up to up dog. Exhale, press the tailbone up, untuck the toes, find down dog. In this down dog, we want to really press the chest back towards the thighs. Look forward, step the right foot up between the hands. We'll repeat all of this on the other side, sinking down to your low lunge, and shift your weight forward and backward, spreading the legs wide apart. Forward and backward. Shift forward and backward. Forward and backward. Come to center, left arm stays down, right arm lifts to the ceiling, find your twist. Oh, my son's peeking at us, hi. Lift your right arm back, your left arm off the mat, find that rotation, straight arms front to back. Rotate the shoulders forward, lift your arms up by your ears, tuck your tailbone, hug your belly to your spine. Grab your elbows, lift your chest, gentle arch, looking up. Come back to center, open your back leg, turning out, rotating to warrior two with your right arm forward. Circle your wrists 3 times, 2 and 1, and change directions, 3, 2, 1. Warrior two, flip the right palm, reach it up and back, reverse warrior, and then right arm to your thigh as you reach your left arm over to modified side angle. Up and back, reverse warrior, elbow to thigh, side angle. One more, reach it up and back, take a side stretch and reverse warrior, elbow to thigh, reach forward, side angle. Back to warrior two. Interlace your fingers behind your back, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the sternum, lift the head, look up. Release the arms, slide them back out to warrior two. Rotate your back leg forward, lift your arms overhead, find the high lunge position. Hands down by the foot, step back to plank, and tap the chin to the floor. Inhale, up dog, squeezing the shoulder blades, looking up. exhale, tuck the toes, press your hips up and back. Down dog. We'll stay in this down dog for a moment to help open up the shoulders. Plant your palms firmly into the floor. From that push, open up the chest and try to get the chest back towards your thighs. You'll tuck your chin in, looking either at your knees or your belly button, and then rotate your triceps so they face the wall behind you. Now walk your hands back to your feet so you're in a forward fold. Let your head relax. Fingertips come to the mat. Inhale, look up, stretch your spine. Exhale, curl your back, round your spine, chin to chest. So it's like a cat and cow standing. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, tuck everything, curl, pull it in. Inhale, arch, look up, stretch. Exhale, curl, round the back, pull the chin to the chest. Inhale, dive the head up as you look towards the ceiling. And exhale, curl, round everything in, look at the belly button. Hang forward, walk your hands back forward to find your down dog. Set everything up, pushing the chest back towards the thighs, pulling the belly button in towards your spine. Push your chest back towards your legs. And now we'll do some spinal rolls. Lift to your toes, roll through your spine out to a plank pose. Pull your tailbone back, press your chest back, and find your down dog again. Tuck the chin to the chest. Lift to the toes, roll slowly through your spine to a plank, and then pull the tailbone up and back, pushing to find your downward facing dog. Again, lift to the toes, round through the back, rolling through the spine to find plank. Keep the belly pulled up, and then drive that tailbone back, lifting it up, and find that down dog. Push the chest back, tuck your chin into your chest, close your rib cage, and roll it forward one last time, plank. Now step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, back to plank. Left foot up to the left side of your hand, back to plank. Switching. Right foot steps, back to plank. Left foot steps up, back to plank. Keep pulling the belly in, engaging through your center as you go stepping up and stepping back. Make sure you're tucking the hips and pressing out through your shoulder blades for a nice, firm, strong position through your arms. Step the right, back to plank. Step the left, back to plank. Both feet will step up right, then left. Find your squat, sinking down. You can shift side to side, wiggle into that squat. Then drop your right knee down to the floor and press your left hip open, using your hand right above your knee and pressing it so you roll onto the blade of your foot, opening and closing your hip. Come back to center. Switch, drop the left knee down. Right hand will help open up the hip by pressing it back, and then release. Press and release. Push to open and release. Push and release. Back to center. Try to drop the heels down to the floor. Again, you can wiggle to find that nice position. Hands to the heart. Push your knees open with your elbows or with your triceps, trying to lift the chest and stack it right above your hips. Place your left hand down, lift your right arm up and twist, opening up. Pushing your knee open with your lower hand and twisting the chest towards the ceiling. Back to center. Switch sides. Reach the right arm out, twist and lift the left, rotating up to the ceiling. Keep trying to drop the hips down to the floor, but lift the chest and open through the shoulders. Come back to center. Find that squat position again. Long spine. Now you'll plant your hands, shift your toes forward, and lift your hips to find a nice forward fold. Sink it back down to your squat. Lift, forward fold, try to straighten the legs, and exhale, sink down to your squat. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, sink and squat. Inhale, tailbone shifts up. Pull your belly towards your thighs. Exhale, open the hips and sink down. Inhale, lift, forward fold. Exhale, sink and squat. Plant your hands and step your feet back to a plank position. Tuck your hips, reach forward, bend the elbows, tap the chin to the floor, push it up. Push-ups. Exhale, chin to floor, press it up. Keep your elbows squeezed tight towards your sides as you go up and down. Your belly is lifted the whole time. If this is too hard, drop down to your knees. Maintain the same position through your upper body. Bend the elbows, squeeze them in, tap the chin. Then inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chest, look up, up dog. Exhale, press the hips up and back, down dog. Pushing through your shoulders, pulling your rib cage in, tucking the chin in towards the chest so you can have that nice long diagonal line through your spine. And again, don't forget your breath. Keep breathing, big inhales into the belly and exhales, letting the air out. Bend your knees, drop down to a tabletop position. Slide your hands back directly under your shoulders. Inhale, lift your right arm, opening to the ceiling. Exhale, thread it underneath your left, lay the side of your head down. Inhale, lift, look over to the right, and then lay back down. Exhale. Inhale, lift your left arm up to the ceiling, and you can even thread it back behind you for more opening through the chest. Keep trying to twist from your rib cage to send your chest towards the ceiling, finding that rotation. If your arm is bent behind you, lower it back down. Come back to your tabletop. Let's do all of that on the left. Inhale, lift the left arm, twist. Exhale, fold underneath, thread it down. Then inhale, lift, look to the left. Exhale, release back down, side of your head. Lift the right arm up, inhale. And exhale, if you'd like, thread it back behind you and move those rib cage to the side to try to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. You can even turn your gaze up and that will help. If the arm is bent, lift it back up, come down, and find that tabletop position once again. Walk your knees back a little bit, and then you'll walk your hands forward, drop your chest down towards the floor, allowing your upper body to release and hang, and then gently just rock your weight right and left. So you're not going down to your full deepest puppy pose, but you're letting that chest sink, and then you're swaying side to side to help open up through the thoracic spine, through the chest, through the shoulders. Then inhale, look up, lift the head. Exhale, curl the back, pushing into your shoulder blades, round. Inhale, drop the chest, lift your head, look up. Exhale, tuck everything in as you round the spine. Inhale, lift, look up. Exhale, curl, pull the belly in, round your back. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round, pull the belly in, curl your back. And back to neutral. Now really let the shoulders open. Let your forehead rest down on the floor, pressing your armpits down to the floor and keeping the elbows as straight as you can in front of you. Taking big breaths. See if you can pull the rib cage together. And inhale, tuck your tailbone, roll yourself back up. Walk your hands back underneath your arms, and then lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your head, pressing up, lifting up to your cobra. And then exhale, send the chest more forward, keep squeezing the shoulder blades, and roll down. Your belly goes, your ribs go, your chest, and the last thing to come down is your head. Your head's the first thing that lifts up. Squeeze the shoulder blades, send the chest forward, lift the sternum to the ceiling, lift up and back, trying to press the arms straight, and then bend the elbows, send the chest forward, lower yourself slowly back down to the mat, piece by piece. Inhale, lift the head, squeeze the elbows together, squeeze your shoulder blades together, send the chest forward and up to the ceiling, lifting the head to look up and back, and then releasing, letting the upper body roll down piece by piece. The head will be the very last thing that releases down. pull your tailbone back, sit over your heels, find child's pose, lengthening the arms out in front of you, allowing your lower back to round. Take big, deep breaths here, catch your breath. And now rotate your palms up to the ceiling, trying to pull your thumb down to touch the mat. As you open those palms to the ceiling, getting some rotation through the shoulders. Turn the palms back down to the floor, round up to your tabletop position. Slide your left leg forward to a pigeon pose and rock your weight side to side, just shifting the weight into that front leg and then over the front leg as you sit back. Sit up in your pigeon, scoot the hands back behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, lift your head, gentle pulses up and back, arching the back, pulse back and release. Pulse it back and release. Open and release. Arch and release. Arch it back and release. Open and release. Good. Again, arch it back and release. Opening the chest as you go back. Now turn your head parallel to the floor. Bend your back leg. Take a hold of your back foot. Really rotating up onto your thigh and squeeze your heel into your bum and then release. Squeeze and release. Trying to rotate that back hip in so both your hips are pointed forward and you're on top of your thigh on that right leg. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and pull your heel in and then let it go. Try to turn your shoulders forward as well. This will really target your quads and your hip flexors to help open those up. And not only will those help get you into a back bend, but those will also help in a split. Now see if you can turn your palm on top of your toes and rotate your fingers forward, turning your shoulders to face the front, rolling more on top of your thigh as you square your hips off even more and squeeze the heel in towards your glute. Stretching the hip on your front leg and your quad and hip flexor on your back leg. Release your foot, plant your hands, tuck your back foot, press yourself up and back, find down dog, pressing the chest open, and then tread those feet out just to release everything. Lifting one heel and then straightening the opposite leg and switching it out side to side. Pressing the chest open, drop both heels down, and then bend the knees and press to straighten the legs, pushing the chest back towards the legs. Bend the knees, you can lift the heels, and then stretch your legs, lengthen as you press your chest back. Again, bend the knees, pulling the knees into your chest, and then pressing the legs straight as you push your hips up to the ceiling. Opening the chest. Bend the legs, press and lengthen, down dog. Bend the knees, extend the knees, pushing back. Really think about opening through your chest and through your middle spine. Roll yourself forward to a plank position, pulling your belly up, tucking the hips under. Bend your knees, drop them down onto the mat. Find tabletop position again. We'll repeat that on the other side. Slide your right leg forward to that pigeon pose. Square the hips off and start to rock side to side. Just allowing the hips to open up a little before we do those really deep stretches. Now find your center, shoulders forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, sit up nice and tall, square the back hip forward, and we'll pulse up and back, arching, and then release. Arch and release. Arch and release. Opening the upper body. Think about really bending from the rib cage up to try to arch back and then gently release. Keep the head looking up to the ceiling. Opening your front body while you squeeze the back body together to send your chest and your sternum to the ceiling as you arch back. And then come forward, bend your back leg, take a hold of the foot, and we'll do that quad stretch, pulling your heel into your glute and release. Pull in and release. Trying to keep the hips square and really working to roll onto the top of your thigh and not let that back leg turn out and rotate. Pulling in and then releasing, squeezing into the glute and then letting go. If you can, turn the shoulders forward so you're square in hips and your shoulders. Pulling in and release. And then if you can, wrap your hand over your toes, turn your fingers forward, point your elbow back, rotate your shoulders and your hips forward, really squeeze your leg or your foot in towards your hips, getting that really good stretch through the front side of that back leg. Slowly release, plant the hands, tuck your back foot, push up and back to your down dog. Opening through the chest, yet again, keeping the ribs as closed as possible while pressing open through that upper body and lengthening through the back of your legs, dropping the heels towards the floor. Reach forward, rolling forward to your plank pose. Pull that belly up, bend the elbows, chin taps to the floor, then inhale, open the chest, look up, find up dog. And then exhale, drop to the knees, pull the hips back, and sink yourself back to a child's pose. Curving the spine. In this child's pose, we'll come up onto the fingertips. You'll tent your fingertips and press your chest and your armpits down towards the floor. Just lifting your fingertips is going to get you a little different stretch, opening more through your shoulders here than just a normal child's pose. Big breaths. Inhale, look up, plant your hands, and roll yourself all the way back to a tabletop. Now you'll drop your elbows down to the floor, twist and open the right elbow, and tap it back down. Twist, open the elbow to the ceiling, and then tap your elbow down to the mat. Twist and open. Keep the rib cage closed, and you're trying to rotate from the rib cage to open, and then tap the elbow back down. Here's the last one. Open, elbow down. Now the left elbow is going to open, and then we tap the left elbow down to the floor. Open, twist, and then tap it down. Inhale to open and rotate. Exhale to tap your elbow down. Inhale, open and twist. Exhale, release and tap. Inhale, open and twist. Exhale, tap it back down. Release your arms, plant your hands and round back to your tabletop. Slide your left leg back forward, back to that pigeon pose, and rock it out again. Rolling side to side. Come to the center. Lift your chest up, stacking it over your hips, really trying to square your hips and shoulders right in front of you. Bend your back leg, take a hold of your back foot again, turning the legs so that your thigh is rolling down to the floor. Pull the heel in towards your bum, squeezing it in. Then your left arm is going to lift around. You'll hook your fingers together and then try to lift your left arm over your head and turn to look under your left arm. So you'll look forward underneath the left arm, opening the arms into as much of an O shape as you possibly can, and pulling the toes open so that you can open more through as the toes kind of pull on your arm in this mermaid. Release the hands, stretch your left arm in front of you, and just look out over your left fingertips, finding the straight arm in the back, and then try to squeeze your back foot in even more with your elbow on your right side. Squeezing, squeezing in. You can release the front arm, and then you'll slide your foot out towards your wrist or your hand and really try to push your foot towards the right. And we'll release and come back onto all fours. Cat and cow. Inhale, lift to cow, looking up. Exhale, round to cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head and tailbone, look up. Exhale, round your spine, tucking everything into curl. Inhale, drop an arch, look up. Exhale, press into the mat as you curl and tuck. Inhale, arch, lifting head and tail. Exhale, curl and round it out. Pushing up through the shoulders. Last one. Drop down, inhale. Exhale, curl, round. Find a neutral spine. Slide your right foot forward, coming to a pigeon pose on the other side. And again, just shift your weight side to side. Find your center, square your shoulders and your hips, stacking the shoulders up over your hips. Bend your left leg, take a hold of your foot. Squeeze it in as close as you can to your glutes and try to hook your toe into your elbow. Pulling that in. Your right arm will interlace with your left. So your right hand, your left hand are interlaced. Then you'll try to slide your right arm up over your head. Turn your head to look under your right armpit, looking forward to find that mermaid pose. Your toe is hooked into the crook of your elbow. Your arms are opening to as big of circle as you can make, and you're pulling the chest up to arch through the spine, stretching out. Then release the circle. Pull your back leg in towards your bum, squeezing that foot in. You can extend your right arm up, lengthening it out, looking over the front fingers of your right hand. Squeezing, squeezing, and trying to turn the hip and your thigh down to the floor. And then open the arm back. Make sure you're rolling your left leg to the left to try to roll more on top of your thigh. Release it out. Back to just pigeon with the hands on the floor. And then push yourself up and back to your tabletop position. Hands and knees. Walk your hands forward. Drop the chest and the armpits down to the floor. We'll go into a full puppy pose this time. Really trying to open the chest and sink the chest. See if you can touch the chest onto the floor and lift the chin to look up and back. Tailbone stays high, high, high. Hold it here. Keep relaxing your breath as much as you can. Sending the chest down. Really trying to move through the middle of the spine and get the middle or that thoracic spine to open up. To move out of this pose, tuck your tailbone, round yourself up, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders to a tabletop. You'll cross your legs underneath you and scoot yourself to the middle of your mat to roll flat onto the mat. Your hands plant just next to your body on the sides. Your heels are close to your glutes and your thighs are parallel. Push your hips up to a bridge pose. Interlace your hands underneath you and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then you'll push your weight forward so your chest is pushing up towards your chin. Pressing up as high as you can, holding it there with the arms interlaced behind you. Release the hands and then roll your spine flat down onto the mat. You can take a little wiggle to release out. We'll repeat that again. Pressing up, lifting the hips. Interlace the hands underneath you. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Press through your heels to send your chest towards your chin. Finding this really high open bridge pose. Opening through the front of your hips, your belly, as well as a little bit into your chest and upper back. Release the hands, plant them back down, and then roll top to bottom back down onto your mat. Wiggle out if you need. Take a breath. We'll set that up again. Press up through the hips. Interlace your hands underneath you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Push your chest to your chin. really opening and trying to lift the hips up as much as possible. This is going to help prepare you for the full bridge pose that we'll be doing. This is a good practice. If you haven't got will yet, you can always practice this bridge. And then let's release the hands and roll down through the spine. Wiggle it out. We'll do a full wheel pose now. If you can't do the full wheel, just continue to do the bridge that we just practiced. So to start, we'll place our hands right next to our ears with our fingertips pointed towards our feet. Press the hips up like we did in the bridge. You'll push with your hands to lift yourself up to the top of your head. And then you'll press your arms as straight as you can. And then you want to use your legs to press your chest forward, just like when we sent our chest to our chin. Same action. We're pressing through the heels to send the chest forward and really try to open up the shoulders and the upper back. To move out of this, you'll bend the elbows and then just lay on the back of your head to release and roll down. So don't come to the top of your head when you roll back down, just to protect your neck. And then just stay a moment on the mat, letting your back be flat. When you're ready, we'll go for round 2, planting the hands underneath, pushing the hips up, and then pressing the arms just to the top of the head. Then press through your arms, try to straighten, and then you'll push that chest forward through the arms. And if you want, you can also practice rocking your weight. So release the arms or the body back and then press with the legs to push the chest forward and release and press. Just forward and back to help open up through the upper body. And then when you're ready, you'll tuck the chin into the chest and lay on your back and lower yourself down. Take a breath to release it out. Let's do one more time. Plant the hands right about under the shoulders. Press the hips up to the ceiling, pushing them as high as you can first. Then lift to the top of the head. From here, take a big breath. Exhale, press yourself up. And then you can even walk your hands back towards your feet to narrow out your bridge. And that will make it a little bit more opening, a little more difficult if you want a deeper bridge. Keep pressing your body forward through your arms. You can do that rocking forward and backward. And then when you're ready, tuck the chin into the chest and release yourself down. Let your arms just fall out to the sides now. In a T position, drop your knees over to the right. Turn your head to look over your left, taking a twist. Finding and catching your breath. Back bends always make me really elevate my heart rate. So just taking these twists and calming down helps. Pull the knees back to the ceiling, drop the knees to the left, look over to the right. Full big breaths. Breathing always down into the belly, trying to avoid the shallow breath into the chest. Knees point back to the ceiling, and then take both your knees, hug them to your chest, and then you'll just open your knees out towards your armpits and then close the knees back together. Open and close, guiding them with your hands, releasing out the hip flexors, and also doing a gentle massage for your lower back as it's on the mat. And you can wrap your arms around your knees, big hug into the chest. Relax the shoulders, relax your head on the mat underneath you. And slowly release your legs, plant your feet back down on the mat. Tuck your chin into your chest, lift your shoulders off, and then you'll try to tap the outside of your ankles, going right and left. Reaching side to side. We always want to do a little bit of core work after we've done these deep back bends. And that's going to help stabilize the spine so that we don't injure ourselves later with having this really open, loose spine. So we're just doing these ankle taps side to side, reaching, keeping the shoulders up off and pulling the chin towards the chest, tapping side to side, engaging that front body. Your lower back should be flat on your mat. Tap, tap, tap side to side. Then stretch the arms forward, release down. Arms will come over your chest. And hug your right knee into your chest. Pull your upper body up and try to lift your knee to your nose. Your left leg's going to go up and extend back down. So you're going to lift the leg over your body and extend it back down. The leg doesn't have to be completely straight. What we're shooting for is the work in the core. So keeping that one leg engaged towards the belly as the other leg moves. It extends up and then extends out. The whole time the back should be flat. So if you can't keep your back flat, do a smaller range of motion. Switch sides, pull the left leg in, and then the right leg's gonna swing overhead and then swing down towards the floor. Up and out, extend up and out. Pointing the toes, really trying to hug your nose into your knee so you're really using the center to lift the body and move the leg at the same time. Extending down, and then pull both knees to the chest. Pull your nose up to your knees to make a ball, and then release down. Let your legs go, plant your feet. Extend your arms, tuck your chin into your chest, round yourself up to a seated position, sitting tall, and then reverse. Tuck the pelvis, get the lower back down first, middle back, upper back, shoulders, head, and you're gonna do these roll-ups, hollowing out the body, and then tucking and rounding to roll yourself back down flat. Tuck and roll up to a seated position. Round and slowly and controlled release yourself to the mat. Roll it up and roll it back down. Chin to chest. Engage the core to lift. Tuck and slowly lower yourself back down. Chin to chest. Roll yourself up. And then tuck and roll yourself back down. Sitting up, rolling to sit, and then reversing to lay back down. Up and rolling down. Tuck your chin, hollow out, roll up, and roll back down onto your spine. Tuck the chin, lift up, and roll nice and flat again. Now lift your arms all the way over your head. Move your feet so they're closer towards your bum. Tuck your pelvis, press your lower back into the mat, and then release. Tuck and press, release. Try to stretch your arms as straight as you can overhead, and just roll that pelvis flat, and then arch the spine. Press it flat, arch, and tuck to press it down. Arch your back, and then press it back down. Just moving between those two different positions as you shift and change the back by moving your pelvis. Now leave your back flat on the mat, hug your knees into your chest, and take a hold of the outside of your feet to find a happy baby pose. Really open your hips and allow your knees to drop down towards the floor. Nice big breaths, trying to release out through your lower back, and also release your hips as you open. And then if you'd like, you can rock side to side, massaging out your spine. Moving just a little bit to try to continue to open up through your hips. Come back to the center. Release your feet. Plant them down on the mat, and then extend your legs out to each corner of the mat. And extend your arms down with your palms up to the ceiling. Relax your whole body, and we'll lay here for a few minutes in our Shavasana, just resting, finding ease, trying not to fidget and move, and to keep your mind as calm as possible. Now it's time to wake back up. Slowly roll onto your side, keep your eyes closed, and make your way up to a comfortable seated position. With your hands on your knees, drop your shoulders down away from your ears and lengthen your spine. And we'll practice our balanced breath now, inhaling through your nose to a count of 4 and exhaling out your nose to a count of 4. Together we inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your right hand on your heart, your left hand on your belly, and repeat in your mind, may these practices bring balance and strength to my body, my mind, and my life. Place your hands together in a prayer and bow your head down. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a really great day. I will see you next time. Bye.